Okay. So, good afternoon, Black women. I wanted to bring to you guys a real quick tax video because it's something that happened to me recently. I figured I ought to explain this and explore it to people. All right. So, here we go. Um let me turn this up as high as it can be. I want the volume. Okay. Okay. So, I was trying to see if I was live anywhere. I don't see it on my phone. Oh, I am live. Well, how come I don't see it on my phone? What's up with my phone? Oh, I see it now. I can't see nothing. Yeah, I got it. All right. So I can hear myself. I know everything is good. So hello everyone. I'm trying a new background today. It's the black background, so just bear with me. I'm trying to play with all these new features StreamYard has. So okay, I came to do this video today about basically the IRS taxes and how to protect yourself. All right, we all know that there are endless amount of haters in the world. We know this to be a fact, right? So I recently got hated on, and in case you get hated on the same way, I want to show you a way to protect yourself and so that they don't interrupt your day or create unnecessary problems in your life. So here it is. This is tax season. I'm actually acting or reacting to this kind of late because I should have been on top of this like at the beginning of March. Anyway, it all this shit can be easily handled. So let me explain to you what happened. All right. So as I told you guys before, here in New York City, because I was one of the New York City employees who refused to take the COVID shot, right? I was terminated along with like 3,500 other employees, right? We lost, not me, but many people I knew lost their jobs, lost their homes, had to do what I did, which is to go into their retirement just to sustain their lifestyle until they found employment to substitute what they lost, which is what happened to me. Okay, so anyway, now that tax time has rolled around, I'm looking for my W 2s, right? So my W 2s never came. So I'm like, okay. So what you got to do by law is you got to try to contact the employee. You got to send them an email. You got to call them to request your W-2 copy. However, don't be upset because throughout the year, whether you're an entrepreneur, a mogul tycoon businessman, or one of the New York City agencies where you have employees, you're obligated to send taxes, wages, and withholding to the IRS for every single employee, right? So it doesn't matter. So if this ever happens to you, you're going to, I think I wrote the number down so I could put it, I'm going to put it in the chat and put it on the screen for y'all. So you're going to call this number. This is the IRS number. And this is the IRS's number where you're going to call them and you're going to tell them that you need to report your employer for not providing you with a W 2. Then we're going to go into all the rest of it. So it's 1-800-829-1040, right? I'm going to put it on the bottom of the screen so everybody can see it. All right. So this is the phone number to the IRS, right? So if ever, you know what? Let me do it better because I didn't do it well enough. Let me make it identifiable. IRS taxpayer. What is it called? Hold on, because I had just walked over there today and they didn't help me, so I had to do it myself. So what is this? Taxpayer. What do they call this? Tax. It used to be called taxpayer advocate. I'm gonna put taxpayer center. All right. Let me just do that because it might be different in other other states. But it was one of those anti-black things. I walked in the office. There wasn't a lot of people in there. The first thing they did was start telling me, "Oh, you can't just come in. You need to have an appointment." I said, "Okay, how do I do an appointment?" "Oh, you got to call this number, and the next availabilities are in May." I said, "May? That's after the tax deadline. What you mean May, right?" So he said, "Yeah, that's what it is." I said, "Okay, no problem." So I'm not a person who's not unfamiliar with dealing with the IRS. I fight with the IRS all the time. That's not a good thing. I'm not boasting. I'm just telling you that people, when they work places, they don't always know their job. So it's your job to always know how to stand your ground and fight back against no matter who it is. I don't know if many of you know that there is a tax court that is over the IRS. So if you have situations where you've been to the taxpayers center, taxpayers advocate, you're trying to work it out with them, but the IRS is still giving you a hard time, and you believe you're right and they're telling you you're wrong, you could go to the tax court, present your situation, see if you can get a free attorney to help you out, a tax attorney, present it to the tax court, you will win. I had to do that with the tax court at least 4 or 5 times for simple mistakes that they just refused to acknowledge. Even after I did an amendment or sent in more paperwork, all that, they still like, no, 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 no. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm telling you, yes, yes, yes. And I'm not paying thousands of dollars for no silly nonsense. So there is a way to deal with the IRS. Do not think there's some big boogeyman that you can't handle. Yes, I'm here to tell you, you can. I've done it, and you can do it too. So you start off like this. Hold on. Naya, I need you to go sit down, stay away from me today, and stop messing with me. And you better not chew up nothing. Nothing. Nothing, Naya. You hear me? You better lay down and don't put your teeth on anything. You big loser. So anyway, Naya is biting everything in the goddamn house, chewing everything up because she's a baby going through. Naya. So anyway, what am I thinking about? All right, yes. So the first thing you're going to do after you try to contact or walk into one of these taxpayer centers or taxpayer advocate centers and they shiest you the same way they shysted me, you're going to go, all right, have a good day. You're going to go home. You're going to call this phone number. You're going to wait an hour the same way I did. I think I actually waited an hour and 30 something minutes. No shit. So I left the phone on the table, had it on speaker, and listened to that while I did everything else. Finally, a very nice, pleasant woman came on the phone by Miss Hall. Miss Hall, shout out to you if you see this video. You were beyond professional. You made my day. You really did. So Miss Hall went on to get my information. Not only did she get my information, but she offered me up a suggestion that I had not thought about. I started off the video telling you guys that I have that me and everybody else that works. If you're an employer, employee, you have employees, you got to send in everybody's taxes to the IRS. You got to send in their wages, how much Social Security was paid, tax withheld, all that jazz. You got to send it to the IRS. So if ever you walk into one of the centers and they're like, oh, we can't help you, need an appointment, like they did me, you're going to call this 800 number, hopefully get a beautiful person like Miss Hall. Miss Hall said, oh, you know what, Stephanie, did you remember that we can send you all of the tax withholding information from the employer that was sent to the IRS in regards to you, which is usually a W-4, right? So I said, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Please send it to me, Miss Hall. How long will that take? She said, well, approximately 2 weeks. With the IRS, make sure you know it's probably going to be about 4 weeks, right? But you never know. Sometimes you might get a happy-go-lucky employee that puts it in the mail the same week, and you really might get it on time. But you don't bank on that. All right. So that's coming. No problem. I got that. That's in the nutshell. That's what I need. Okay. So after I have that set up, I want to also make a complaint on this employer, right? So when I initially talked to Ms. Hall, because she was so sweet, she decided that she was going to transfer me to the tax law department because she wasn't quite sure of whether or not it was a tax law department issue or just a basic account issue. After I got transferred to the tax law department, I found out that it was simply an account issue, and that's totally fine. This is the first time I'm experiencing this. I'm not stressing because I know a lot of this stuff outside of exactly step by step what to do. So I'm bringing it to you today. So when I spoke to, uh, I forget, Miss Dolan, I believe her name was, she had informed me that what the IRS does, because it's against the law for employers not to send out W-2s. Sorry about that notification. So the IRS, Miss Dolan's part, even though she did this out of a courtesy of her own heart, shout out to you, Miss Dolan. She's not in the right department, but she still helped me out. She sent out the letter to the employer from the IRS that tells them whatever IRS law it is, it's a federal law, right? They must provide the employee with the W-2. Okay. Now, if they don't, it's only a $50 fine. So don't think that the IRS is coming to get them and they're afraid of the IRS. They're not. But what they are afraid of is if they keep doing that, the IRS will flag them and will go after them. They will target them, and they can do all types of things to an employer when you don't give up the proper information the way you're supposed to. They can even take you to court, press charges, not like the police, but they can take up charges with you with the state. The U.S. attorneys, they could do that to you. So they're really not anybody to play with when they get upset. They could also put liens on your property, garnish your check, and etc. Even though they're an employer, they can do the same thing to them. So anyway, Miss Dolan, her job is to take my complaint over the fact that, hey, Miss Dolan, I didn't get a W-2 from my employer. All right. They fired me, but they refused to give me my W-2. So she goes, okay, let me check your record. She checks the record. She says, ooh, I almost did it. She said, Stephanie, what is your last employer's name? I told them. Okay. She goes, yes, correct. Because you got to verify who you are, right? Everybody now has like this double verification thing they go to. So anyway, she verified me. She asked me tax questions from like 4 years ago and last year. So I said, okay, answered them, got everything right. She goes, okay, this is what's going to happen. The IRS will send a letter to the employer informing them, send out the W-2. They have exactly 10 days from when they receive the letter from the IRS to send out the W-2. All right, period. I will also get a letter from the IRS stating that they sent out the letter on my behalf to the employer for me to receive the W-2. Fine, you need all of that. You know why you need all of that? Because if you think like, okay, the IRS has a cutoff date for extensions for you to be able to send off your taxes a little bit later after April 15th. Now you got two ways of handling this situation here, right? You either can put in an extension, right? Now, the tricky part with extensions, everybody listen to me very carefully right now and very clearly. When you put in for an extension, if you owe the IRS any money, the only thing the extension does is give you more time to file your taxes, but it does not give you more time to pay the IRS back. So if you owe money to the IRS for any years prior to the taxes you're putting off to pay, you better call the IRS and either pay them some money, one lump sum, or set up a payment plan with them. Because if you do not, you are going to get hit with a penalty for that extension that you filed. They're going to discipline you for filing an extension and not paying the money. So if you owe them money, don't do the extension. What you want to do is you want to do the second option, which is to do an estimation of what it is you feel the taxes were and how much you made on the job up from the W-2 that you didn't get. And it's okay if you mess up, because you could later turn around and do an amendment to let me show you this form that you would fill out in order to let me get over here, because I got all this stuff on the IRS already ready for you. All right, so where's my first one? Okay, that's the amendment. This is what is this? Okay, all right, tax record. What's this? What's that? The extension. All right, the extension. It's the extension, the amendment, and we want to do. Oh, I forgot. I need. Well, I'm gonna go get it. I'll get it. I'll go get it and show you what it is. I didn't get one form, so let me take y'all to the IRS and show you how to do it. Okay. Oh, I gotta go back and bring y'all with me. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go to the IRS. We need a Chrome tab. We need a new tab. We need to share it. I need to go into Google. I need to go to the IRS. There we go. IRS. We're going to go to the original website. We're going to go to find forms and instructions. And we're going to type in 4852. I know this number because when you don't know something on the IRS, I'm going to show you how to do that too. But here's the form right here. This is the substitute form for when you do not receive a W-2. This is 4852. So you would fill this all out, right? It's 2 pages. So let me do it this way. It's faster. This is the first page. You're going to fill this out, and then you're going to read the instructions. It's going to help you. You fill this out when you don't get your W-2, right? Now, in addition to that, when you fill this out, you can send this in with your taxes. This is what you're supposed to do, okay? Now, in the meantime, let's say your W-2 comes and you already sent this off, right? Don't stress it. You keep a copy of this, which you're supposed to keep copies of all this stuff. And when you get the actual W-2, all you do is fill out an amendment form. Let me show you what the amendment form looks like. And that amendment form, okay, will correct all of the issues that you have with this form right here, 4852, which is the substitute form for the W-2. Now, I just got to mention this to show you just how people are really fucked up in this world, and how if you're not a type of person they care for, like I'm a Black woman, so everyone in the society has a problem with me because they're taught the world over anti-Black woman. Now, there's also a thing of anti-Blackness, but there's also a thing of just innate hatred for Black women for whatever reason, right? So when I went in there and I was talking to the Hispanic man, I heard the Hispanic woman say, "Oh, nobody's going to do anything about that." She yelled that over the cubicle. Now, me, I didn't take offense to that because I know that the majority of the times when I have to deal with Hispanic people, that's the type of treatment I get. They don't really care about servicing African American people. That is a fact, especially here in New York, which is why I feel like they need to have an overseer when they're in office, public office, and etc., because they have a tendency to only look out for their own type of people and screw over everyone else. And that is a matter of fact, especially here in New York City. So anyway, after she said that, and the guy pretty much was trying to blow me off to get me out of the office, I realized, okay, none of these people in here are trying to help me because they're all Hispanic. So no one's trying to help me. They're just trying to help each other. So I will help myself. So when I left there, I know, because I'm not an idiot, and I know that the internet is my friend, so is Google. And I know that if I want to know something verbatim, specifically how shit works, step by step, fact by fact, I need to go onto the IRS website itself, because everything on that website is going to give me the fact of the situation and it is not going to give me any lies, any discrimination, or any bullshit. So all I did was, all right, let me stop sharing this, and I guess we can go back into it. I went on to the IRS website, right? I guess no, I don't. I'll leave that up. Let me just find another one where I could just go straight into it. I'll open up a new tab then, because everything I have for y'all, I want to see it, and I don't want to have to fight to get it back. I want you to see it, so I don't want to lose it. So, okay, let me open up a new tab here. All right, let's go back to the IRS. Let me show y'all. All right, so we're going on the official website. And I'm going to go into this I over here. It says find forms and instructions, right? So when it comes, there's a search bar here, right? So I'm going to say wage. How did I do it the first time? Missing W2 form. Let's see if it works this time. Search current publication. No, that's for something else. Oh, this is pretty interesting. Oh, it actually did come up, but that's because I didn't read all the way through. Look here, y'all. Let me just bring this up just for y'all to notice if any of you guys are out there. This publication 5396A, right? This is for volunteers, and this form right here works with for volunteers. When you have a 1099, a W2, you're from another country, or you're here in America and you're doing a lot of like volunteer work for whatever it is you do as a living, or whatever you do as a grassroots organization. So that's a good form to remember. 5396A. All right. Keep that in mind. You go and read that form and find out how it could be utilized. It could be also utilized with 4852 with and everything else. So just make sure when it would be a good practice to just come on to the IRS website, go through the forms as frequently as possible so that you can know all of the forms that are on here and how to handle any type of situation that will come up, so that when you're like me, somebody tries to screw you over, you go, not today, loser. I know how to get around that. So anyway, the form is right here. See, I wrote, now the first time I did this is not what I put in. I'm just like on the spot right now, a little jumbled because I'm talking to y'all, trying to think and do this to show you how to find it. So I just wrote in now missing W2 form. I put in something else earlier, but I cannot remember. But it came up with the right search. So it came up with form 4852, and you see it says here, using form 4852 when missing the form W2 or 1099R. Now, this is so important, right? You read all this stuff, it will show you and tell you, everything you need, how it works, and etc. Okay? Now, unfortunately, I just noticed something. This is not the original 4852 we need. This is the one that especially works for volunteers. So we're going to come out of that. And since we already know what the form is, we just going to type it in and it's going to come up. 4852, right? We're going to search, and there it is. Form 4852, substitute for Form W2 wage and tax statement. All right. Now, you want to, when you deal with the IRS, when you do these searches, it's good to do it this way, because everything on this page is somehow an extension of the other form and is affiliated with it in some way, depending on what it is you're doing in your life, how you work, what you do, and what you have. Now, if you come a little further down, you'll see here Form 4852 SP, a substitute for the wage and tax statement, and 1099R. This particular form deals with distributions from pensions, annuities, retirement, or profit sharing plans, IRAs, insurance contracts, etc. in the Spanish form. Okay. Above it, you have the one I spoke to you about, that deals with the volunteering, whether you're from out of the country or within the country. And then down here, there's another one, another publication for, what is it said, like talking points for managers. Let's say you're somebody's manager and you're giving a, I don't know, a talk on this, a lecture, whatever it is you do to instruct training to let people know what's happening. They provide this for you so that you can give people direct, correct information from the IRS. And here, there's another publication down here, 4011, further explaining the foreign student and the scholar volunteer resource guide. So all you guys out there that's dealing with grants, anything like that, internships, externships, you want to look at this stuff if you never got your W-2, so that you can be on point with what it is you got to do. So whenever you do a search, it's going to display everything that your search results in, and it's all going to be connected. It's never going to be like, oh, what is this form here for? It has nothing to do with anything. Yes, all these things have to do with each other, because they tend to look at things by the amount of forms that they get from the public. So if they must have been getting a lot of these people with this situation, which is why these forms are here. So there you go. All right. So now that we've done that, you know that, so you're good with that. The other forms I want to show you. So now when you don't have your W-2, you don't stress out. You go into the IRS, you get 4852. You figure it out as much as you can. All right. I'm going to show you another website, Nerd Wallet, where it uses the IRS like calculator, so you could kind of like figure out what it is. But the way I do it, and the way I will do it, is I will use the W-2 from the previous year and just probably add or subtract to it depending on my situation, and that's it, right? So that's the way I will do it. I may play with the calculator as well, just to see if my numbers are as close as theirs. And that's it. That's really all to it. And all right, so we got, when you don't receive a W-2, right? You have to fill out form 4852. Now, you have literally up until April 15th for these people to send you a W-2, even though you can report them for not sending the W-2 after January 31st. So this is why employers act like jerks, like the one I have. They're acting like a jerk right now. And that's thanks to Mayor Adams, you know? So you got to expect that type of stupidity. So let me see. Let me go on and finish the rest of this presentation. Okay. So we need another Chrome. I think I did show it. Oh. All right. This is a good one here. So this here is how you would, on the IRS website as well, when you need to get a transcript, right, of any of your taxes. If you need a transcript from the previous year, like I think I have to get a transcript because I don't know where one certain thing is, and I've been looking all over for it, can't find it. So I'll have to ask them to provide me a copy. They will. This is how you would do it. You go on to individuals, right? And you'll see it'll say get your tax record. And then you just go on here, that you click this get transcript online, or you can get it by mail, and you read all of that. And then you come to the bottom once again to related forms, right? And these forms, they tell you how the transcripts can be delivered by mail, how it's just everything. So this one here, this about form 4506 TEZ, this is the easy way. It says offers only the tax return transcript delivered by mail. So this would be like a summary of the taxes, if that's what you want to do. But the one above it is going to be page by page. So you can do that as well. All right. And then you got some more information in here in the notes that says transcripts particularly mask your personally identifiable information. Financial data will remain fully visible to allow for tax preparation, tax representation, or income verification. That's good to know, y'all. So for those of y'all that trying to buy a house, trying to buy a car, whatever it is where you need to verify your income and your job is being a jerk, or um, HR is playing games with timekeeping and not showing what you actually made, the IRS could provide you that stuff. Now you got to do this way ahead of time because they're slow as molasses, but they will give you the accurate information. Okay. All right. And then, okay, like here they say transcripts arrive in 5 to 10 calendar days. They say that about everything. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's way longer. And on this side here, it shows you more information about filing and etc. So you could click on that and it'll expand into all these other things. Oh, this is something I wanted to show y'all. Governmental liaisons, right? Let me just take a minute and explain this to y'all, right? These are the people that work in partnership with the IRS. And this includes city, state, and federal agencies, right? And what they do is they help to make sure all the information is duplicated and correct and complies with the IRS standard of tax reporting, whatever that may be. So this includes your job, stuff like the Chamber of Commerce, whatever it is that deals with business and monies is all taxes. They have to do it the right way. So if you ever wanted to come on through here and find out the publications that protect government employees versus private employees, state and city employees, contractors, this is where you go to make sure that they are adhering to and actually complying with the regulations of the IRS and reporting taxes the way they're supposed to. I just figure you guys should know that. They often have videos on here and stuff like that. So if you want to come back and peruse through these sections, it's important. And for all the government employees, this is really a good place for you guys to come because they specialize in having several videos and information in particular for government employees. So you guys really want to be on this IRS website learning all that you can because it will literally save your life. And I mean it because Black women, I tell you all the time, the information you don't know is why you have the problems you have in your life. You know, I told y'all that. The more you know, the better you live, the better off you will be. And that is a real reality. I'm straight telling you. It's true. Look at me today. I would have been a stressed out, crazy, out of control mess like most people are when you don't know something and you're upset about it and you don't know how to react to it, you don't know how to handle it, and you don't know how to deal with it. Okay. So when they were blowing me off and giving me the we don't really give a damn about you treatment in that taxpayers center, I was like, okay, no problem. You don't want to help me. I know who will. The customer service number will help me, even though I have to wait for 29 years. And the IRS website will definitely help me instantaneously. So you can act like an ass all you want. I'm still going to be good. And that's how you got to go through life. That is how you got to move through life. And that's what I'm here to do, to help you as much as I can with that. So, all right, let's get back to some more sharing. Okay. Because I need y'all to get this information. And please know, all of the links, I'm going to provide them after the live in the description of the video. Unfortunately, I could not do that beforehand. Otherwise, I would. All right. So let's go back to some more Chrome tabs. I did the governmental liaisons. I did the forms and sub searches. Let's see. Let me show y'all how to find the places. Okay, so they have this acronym TAC, right? Taxpayer Assistance Center. So this is when you go on to the IRS website, you could just type in TAC locations or just literally spell it out, Taxpayer Assistance Center locations. It's going to pop up. And when it does, you see here, they have the big O letting you know, make an appointment. Taxpayer Assistance Centers operate by appointment. So that could be another reason why they were treating me like that. So now that I have that information, now I don't feel so bad about them like booting me out the door. And they didn't want to see me because they feel like, look, you trying to jump the line. Get out of here. You don't have an appointment. But waiting till May is crazy. It's out of control. It's not gonna happen. So when you arrive, wear a mask and stay 6 feet away from others. That's not true. That didn't happen. And here in New York, we don't have to do that anymore. Reschedule your appointment if you don't feel well. Well, that's common sense. So then, okay, as you see it, you just scroll down. Every single state is listed in alphabetical order. Okay? And within those states are the actual locations that you see underneath the name of the states. Let me see. It goes all the way down to who? Who's the last state? Wyoming. I actually have relatives there in Cheyenne. So anyway, there we go, right? So now on the side here, we have the interactive tax assistant, which is really cool. Y'all need to check this out as much as you can. It's kind of like what's that chat dude, Jared, or oh my god, Jeremy, I forget. But it's one of these interactive chats. So if y'all wanted to see AI chat GPT in a real functional form, this is it right here. This interactive tax assistance. It will work for you. This is the AI chat in action. All right. So then down here, you got all the rest of this stuff. Tools, you report phishing, fraud scams, notices, letters, appeals, frequently asked questions, accessibility, contact your local IRS office. Just note, they also are on this your local IRS office. You need to make an appointment. You just can't walk in. I tried that today too. They were like, do you have an appointment? I'm like, no. Do I need one? Yes, you do. Okay, I will make one. So know that as well. And the best part of here is this is how you contact an international IRS office. For all you guys that do that expat stuff, this is important for y'all to know as well. This website and this contact right here, let's talk about the last two, then I'll click on it. Okay, so this is tax topics. You got any topics you want? Click on that. It'll definitely be there. Other languages to switch up the website. There you go. But let's see. When we click on this one, this is for the expat people and people that are like United States citizens, nomads. They work all over the world just because they got it like that. So this is where you guys would go to find out wherever the IRS office is, wherever you're sitting and chilling at. This will help you. Okay. In addition to the www.state.gov website. All right. The United States, not US, but okay, let me go get it. So that people know what I'm talking about and they don't just hear me. Because whenever you travel out of the state, right, you need to go on this website to make sure that it's safe for you to go wherever you're going. The United States knows where you're going to be. Where's that part at? I want to travelers. Let me go find traveling. Okay. They want to know where you're going to be so that in case need a travel advisory. Yeah, travel advisory, right? Okay, I got it. I'm going to show y'all. 1 second. All right. So when you're doing that expat thing, or you could be a digital nomad, right? Where you're a US citizen, but you work remotely and you want to work in Spain for 2 months, then jump over to Greece, then go to Italy, then go to Ghana. You could do that. All right. But you need to be on this IRS website to find out about this particular information. If you need to contact anybody to get things right, report things, say you don't have stuff, and find out how you go about it. There you go. Right. So in addition to that, when you're out there roaming the world, living fabulously, right, you also want to make sure you go to the United States Department of State. And here, right, on this website, you will click on travel advisory. It's going to tell you what levels different countries are, what you need to go in those countries, what you don't need, if they still dealing with COVID-19, if they not, whatever else is going on. Like right now, I know that this website here defines the country's specific risks. So like if you want to go to France right now, it would probably tell you no, you can't. Let me see if it'll do it. It'll probably tell you no, you can't do that because right now they over there having like a mini civil war, rioting in the streets and all this and all that. All right, so here it got France, right? So let's see. Now, right now, what is it saying for us? What's the travel? What's current travel advisories? It's a level 2. Exercise increased caution. Now, I already told y'all. And the other way you do this is, I don't know if y'all know about this or not, but Google actually has like specific websites that deal with those states only. So, countries, sorry. So if you just went into Google and was like, France protests or whatever, all that stuff is going to pop up for France. And then you can find out what it is, policy issues, countries and areas issues. You can find out all that stuff in addition to being on this website, also from Google, so you can see it firsthand on the ground. People telling you, well, you might not want to go over here. You might want to go this place because right now we having a lot of civil unrest over here. So this is very important. So keep that. I want y'all to keep that in mind because a lot of times when I see the expat people doing videos and stuff, they do not bring up that website. And that website is so important because I didn't really go into the website, but I know of it because I have that stuff on my phone. Like I have the TSA app on my phone. I have that website we just went to, that app on my phone. There's another one I can't think of, but right now I can't go to it because I'm monitoring the chat and everything on my phone with this here. But anyway, there's another app that monitors the emergency alerts from the United States when you're traveling abroad. When you go into that website I was just on, you fill out a form that will say, do you want America to send you alerts for different changes in the country and emergency United States citizens evacuation? You want to say hell yes to that. So you sign up for that. You're going to give them your cell phone number, your email. You're going to give them the hotel you're staying at or somebody's address, whatever. And they're going to contact you. They're going to send you the, what is it? They send you the embassy's information. I think it was when I was in France. Yeah. Yeah, they did because I had contacted the embassy, couldn't get through to anybody, but I contacted them when they was acting like crazy people with me in the airport, giving me trouble, and the crazy Parisian jerk giving me stressing me out till he was such a jerk. Y'all, if I find that video, I'm definitely gonna upload it again because it was quite funny how I was going crazy. But anyway, remember that, y'all. When y'all travel abroad, remember that a lot of people don't like Americans. So it ain't got nothing to do with you being black. It's just because you come from America. They call us the ugly Americans. So just know that. A lot of them are like really like, oh, we don't really like them. So anyway, that's really important to know. And it's good that the IRS had that extension for our expats and our travel and digital nomads because that's important. All right, so let's get back to the presentations here. All right, so we have more stuff from the IRS because this is all about the IRS today, okay? All right. All right, here is the extension form. This is your 4868. So, like I said, you have to make a determination of whether or not you want to fill out this form and you want to ask for an extension, or you want to say, you know what, I don't really need an extension. What I need is to fill out the 4852 because I could almost like guesstimate and know what I got to do. And when I send that into the IRS, I'll keep a copy. And if ever the employer actually sends me in an actual freaking W-2, I could just do an amendment. I'm gonna show you the amendment form too, and fix the discrepancies on my 4852. And in that way, I'll be good. I won't end up owing the government any money. I'll be good, and more than likely, I'll have paid too much or made it seem like I paid too much, whatever it is, and I'll end up getting a bigger refund. You never know. So that's how that works. So now with this form here, it's telling you a lot of stuff. How to claim credits for payments. If remember I said if you owe payments, you need to deal with that payment issue first. Not the time, because when you send this in, they understand, yes, we will give you more time. However, if you owe the IRS money, they want to know, where's my money? Are you sending me my money, or you trying to sit down and make a payment plan, because you better do something about that money, or you will have a problem with this form. And that's really how it is. So they tell you when to file form 4868. You file this form by April 18th, 2023. So that's 3 days after the deadline of when you're supposed to have filed your taxes. Is it still April 15th? From what I know, that's what it is, unless they changed it. But now you have up until, you literally see it right here at the bottom on page 2, when to file form 4868. File form 4868 by April 18th, 2023. Fiscal year taxpayers file form 4868 by the original due date of the fiscal year return. Period. Got it? All right, so there we go. So now we don't have to worry about that. This is a four-page form. You got one form to fill out, and you got 3 forms of information. And you see they stressing that money, right? You see on page 3, they give you specific instructions about that money, right? How to make a payment. And then on page 4, they're telling you where to file a paper form. And they're going state by state. And that's it. Well, not state by state. Well, yeah, it is state by state to the particular IRS service centers. Because, different places have different service centers. So this is all the state. All the states are on this side, right? And then you have where you make the payment to. And this is the service center that's going to be handling it. So that's how this goes. All right. And then they speak at the bottom, because they serious about getting their money now. Private delivery services. So if you cool with UPS, DHL, all that type of stuff, they're like, yes, very good. Overnight everything to us so that we get our money, because we're not playing with you about our money. And that's how they get down. They're not playing about their money. So I hope this is helping, but because I know a lot of times frustration builds with us as Black folks, because a lot of information is often held from us. So you need to know all these type of things. This particular guy right here, I'm not going to share his video, but I want y'all to, this man right here is a guy, this Travis man on here that talks about taxes on YouTube. I'm going to put his page in the description as well, because Travis is really good with really explaining a lot of tax things specifically to your question. And I like Travis. He does that well. So like, I'm a person that's fixated on traditional Roth IRAs, right? So today when I was looking at Travis's page, because I haven't been there in a few weeks, because I see that Travis had put this up a couple of weeks ago. The last question actually is from a lady, and she's asking, as a non-working spouse who has an IRA account from prior employment, would you advise that I open a new IRA account as to not to commingle pre-tax and after-tax contributions for a non-working spouse? Now, I'm interested to see what he says to her, or if he actually does a video on that, because most people are real familiar with just the rollover. But what this woman is in particular talking about, non-working spouse, is important when it comes to the IRA, because she's talking about the taxes. She doesn't want to get hit with the taxes when she's dealing with her money. So I'm gonna come back and see what he has to say about that. And he also has this link here of his own little Discord where you can speak to him personally and go through that. So Travis, I'm just bringing to your attention because he seems to be like one of the more thorough tax guys on YouTube, where he doesn't appear to be so far superficial and stingy with information. He's really thorough as far as I'm concerned. So if you got questions that go past your ability to peruse through the IRS website and try to find out what you need, Travis is here to help along with other people. And you can always call the customer service at IRS to help you out when you don't know things, and click on the links on the IRS website for free tax assistance help. Like, they literally have listings for you to go sit down with someone face to face that are authorized by the IRS to do taxes. And it's not some janky like TurboTax or something like that, or Jackson Hewitt. That was the one that was getting so many people in trouble. Things like that. So you got to be careful, because there's so many laws, tax laws, that you might not be aware of, where somebody preparing your taxes does the wrong thing, your butt is on the line for that. So you need to be aware of all those type of things. So Travis is pretty good. He'll give you some straight up information, and there's always a tax attorney. And especially for my New York City residents, legal aid is free here. So if you live in any of the 5 boroughs, you need to be calling that legal aid office of that borough if you have tax problems, and find out who is the tax attorney in that office. Make an appointment, take all your documentations, go sit down and deal with him. And also, if you don't want to go that route, we got Queens College in Queens. Queens College is got a graduate I'm sorry, a graduate law school there, where the law students will help you with your taxes and every other legal situations, as long as they have time for it. They have a student what is it? Student attorney program or something there, where they help the public. So call Queens College and find out what they're offering, so that they can help you if you need it, even if it's outside of taxes. If you need to know about family law, whatever, call them and see what they're offering, and then get yourself over there. It's only a bus ride away, or a train ride, for free legal assistance from people who are actually learning to become lawyers. And man, students are usually really good, because they're trying to prove themselves, and they have all the empathy in the world when it comes to other people before they get the job. After they get the job, and then they got to start playing with management and office politics and real politics, they may become different people. So take advantage of them when they're fresh, new, and willing to do the right thing. There's nothing wrong with that. What else do we have? I'm trying to give you everything I put up here so that you have it. 1040, right? All right. So this is the amendment. Remember, I told you guys, if you don't get your 42, what the hell's wrong with me? If you don't get your W-2, and you decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to just send in form 4852, and I'm going to make the assumptions off of what would be on the W-2. And if I don't get it right, it's okay. I could always fill out this form later. This is actually the instructions. So I need to find the damn form so I can show you that one instead. But this is the instructions to the amendment. The amendment form is 1040X. Okay. This is the instructions. This, in how many pages is this instruction? 11 pages, right? So it's going to show you everything about how the amendment form works, what you use it for, how you use it, and everything that's going on with every line of this amendment form. And it also shows you how to track your amendment return. So this is important stuff to know, because a lot of times people who have never seen this form before, or who don't know it exists, they often will screw up their taxes, and they don't know that a lot of times all you got to do is just fill out an amendment form to fix the corrections, and you're good. So let me search it for you, get it for you, and bring it to you. Here it is. So let me make sure you can see this. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. So this is the amendment form, right? So this is the 1040. No, this is the regular 1040. Where's the 1040X? Because I didn't put in the right thing. That's why. 1040X forms. 1040. All right, let me go back and get the form itself. Sorry, y'all. Let me go back. I need to get the 1040. Not instructions. I need the form. There we go. Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. Let me make sure you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. All right. So this is the 1040X. Amended U.S. individual tax amended. UX, individual income tax return. So this would be the form that you would fill out after you have already submitted the 4852, and you say to yourself, I can guesstimate it. I could, send it in, and then if it's not right, if they send me the W2 and I compare my W2 to the 4852 that I sent into the IRS, and the numbers are not right, I can immediately fill out this form and send it into the IRS, so the IRS is aware of the fact that, okay, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm going to put in a copy of the 4852 that I made the mistake with a copy, excuse me, of the W2 that the employer finally sent me, so that you can see where I made my mistakes. Adjustments can be done appropriately so that I can get back the appropriate refund or pay you whatever it is I owe you. I don't want no problems with you. I'm trying to do the right thing. That's what this form is for. So it's a 2-page form, right? And that's it. Okay. And yes, you do add dependents and everything on this form. It's like a summary of it's a 1040. So it's a summary of your taxes, just with without all of the other pages, like everything else that goes with the rest of the tax forms. So you'll be pretty good, just so that you know what it is that you need to know in case you run into a problem and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? I don't need this issue right now. Why didn't these people just send me my damn W2? It happens. Now we've learned a few things today. We know that every employer has up until April 15th to actually give you a W2, right? And if they give it to you early enough that day, you still have until before 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. that same day in order to submit it electronically to the IRS, or even to take it to the post office and get it either. I don't know if post office timestamps, but as long as they process it before 12 midnight, you're good. You're good. So they understand. And that's the majority of what I want to show you. The other thing is, I want to show you this website where if you want to ask questions, this is one of the most reliable websites. It's called NerdWallet. This is the best. Like you see here, haven't received your W2 yet, take these steps. It's showing you the whole thing. Check your calendar, search your email. I did all this stuff, right? Call your company. I did that. Contact the IRS. I did that. At the bottom, it said during that call, what you'll need, all this stuff. They're absolutely right. That is exactly what happened. Um, and then this, they always got to have these ads in here whenever it's tax time, whether it goes along with the conversation on the particular paragraph or not. They always throw these ads in here. So what I can say about these companies is, if you are going to deal with these particular companies, make sure you go onto the IRS website and click on those companies from there. All right, because those are the ones that are actually working with the IRS. So then they talk about how to file without a W2, which is the 4852 I told you about. It's a substitute for the form W2. Then how to request more time. We talked about that already with the extension. It's going to give you an automatic 6 months, right, to file your 1040. They make sure to tell you here too that, here, listen, an extension only gives you more time to file your tax forms. It's not an extension to pay any tax you owe. You must estimate how much tax you owe and include that amount with form 4868. Remember we spoke about that? They go even further. They say interest and penalties may apply if you pay less than what you actually owe. So take your estimate seriously. That's why I said, if you screw up and you realize you screw up, you hit them with that amendment real quick so that you don't have problems. And if you do have problems, there's ways to deal with that too. But, that's another day, another video. And then over here, they're just giving you more tax filing resources, Check your out of state taxes rates for people who have that situation. They're talking about tax software, um, and how different deferred compensation or retirement plans work. Oh, this is the best part. Like, I love when they will tell you the best tax software for 2023. You may not think that that's important, but let me tell you, they change tax laws at the drop of a dime. Okay, stuff that you used to get like a handle on and know it like the back of your hand, all of a sudden it's changed up, and now you're like, what is this? What's that? What? That happens all the time. So I read this a lot, and there's actually software you can buy where, like, I like Dragon Tax. Like, it usually, it's a type of software where anytime there's an amendment, a supplement to the tax laws, you just you know go to look for any updates, and it automatically completely changes the entire program, makes it up to date, correct. And that's only one program. There's so many of them out there. They cost a lot. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Some of those programs cost like $1,000, but they are worth it because you can use them for 5, 6, 7, 10 years before you got to get like a new one if you really want to. So, but let me go in here and see what they're talking about. So they're just talking about the same old regular ones, but let me see if I can find Tax Dragon to show y'all what I'm talking about. All right, hold on. Let me see here. Let me give me another tab open. Tax Dragon. Yeah, here we go. Okay, home version. What's this? No, this is something else. I said tax. Oh, I didn't write the same. I see. I screwed up. I didn't see. Pay attention. That's what I need, not the other thing. That's speech recognition. There it is. All right. Let me show you something. Let me show y'all this. Make sure it's sharing. This Tax Dragon, you could go on this and use a demo, right? To watch how this program works. Let me tell you something. There was a time when I used to do people's taxes as like a side hustle until they started trying to like get too nifty and thrifty and all this crazy shit, and was actually lying to me and causing audits from time to time because they were trying to scheme and scam and all this craziness. So I stopped doing it. But when I was doing that, I used this program right here, this Tax Dragon Pro. This shit is amazing. It like, and the way I found out that they was like lying to me and trying to play games was the program tracks the people. Like, when you put their information in, it literally tracks the people. So like everything they tell you throughout the year, like let's say there was one lady I was working with, she had kids. One time she was using a babysitter and then she wasn't. And she was living in NYCHA, which is city owned housing project, right? So when you live there, you get different credits from the residents, period, for having babysitter set off your rent and etc. So she was trying to play games with reporting the information about the child care, how much she was paying, who was doing it. And every time she would give me that information, I would put it into this program. And the program was tracking it. So by the end of the year, when her information really wasn't matching at the end, she ended up with an issue. And she was upset because she figured she was gonna like forgaze me and finesse the IRS, and it was like, you can't do that. You do know that everybody is tracked and programs will track you to the damn penny. Like, what are you doing? And it will do the math and stuff like that for me, where it's not making the mistakes I might make if I'm just listening to you talk to me over the phone. So if you want a dynamite tax program for yourself where you don't ever have to worry about, damn, I got to go on the IRS website this weekend and read all of the new changes, all the new laws. God damn. Because that's how I feel. I'll be like, God damn. Right? So when you have to do all of that stuff, it's time consuming. But if you have programs like this and others, you buy these programs, and these programs automatically update, and you go in and you further update to them to where they are up to date beyond any other that you can imagine. And any and all information you put into it, it is calculated, it is done with the exact policy and procedure of the IRS. And even though this is the priciest damn program I have ever seen in my life, it is so effective. It is really effective. So I just wanted to share that with y'all in case y'all wanted another side hustle. Here it is. I'm giving it to you free of charge. If you want to do taxes off to the side and you want a really, really quality program so that you don't get audited and you don't have problems, here you go. Me, after people start giving me headaches too much, I stopped dealing with them. And so now I just do this like for people when they really, really need me to do it or whatever. I just, okay, let me just go ahead and do it real quick. And that's about it. But all that other headache playing with people, trying to scam and scheme, I got no time for that. I really don't. But in case you do, if you got the time for it, here you go. My gift to you. I'll also put this in the description area of this video when I'm done. Because it's if you look it up, you'll see that I think they use this a lot in Georgia for like official tax preparing or something like that. Because there's a couple of them all over the state, but this is one of the top ones. So let me see. Let me go back to see if I missed anything else that I wanted to show y'all about this particular situation that I know is important. So we did that. We did all of this. Yeah, we did everything. So let me go back to the original substitute. Okay, here we go. This is the substitute for the W-2, the 4852. So if you get an employer like mine who likes to play games, they have up until actually the last day of taxes to give it to you. So you make a choice. You will make your decision of whether or not you want to file for an extension. And if you do file for the extension, make sure you remember you will get more time. But if you owe them people any money, you must make either a lump sum payment or make payment arrangements in order not to have problems with that extension, because they will come after you because of that. And you'll end up owing more money. Okay? If you don't want to do the extension, don't. What you do is you fill out the 4852. If ever they actually give you the damn W-2, then you have something to compare it to. If your numbers don't match up, then you fill out the amendment form. Remember that one? And then you're good. Then you have no worries whatsoever. But remember also, now that I contacted the IRS to let them know, hey, my employer never sent me the W-2. IRS from this day typed on the computer and automatically generated a letter that's going to go to that employer within the next, what did she say? She said the next 5 days, right? So it'll get there within the day. It'll be there before that, before the 5 days are up, but it has 5 days to reach that employer. When it gets to that employer, the employer and you, the employer and me, will receive the letter from the IRS saying, hey, Stephanie called us and told us you didn't give her W-2. We're the IRS. We're telling you, as per law, whatever, tax law, whatever, you got to send her a W-2. So you got 10 days from receiving this letter to send Stephanie her W-2. If you don't send her the W-2, the letter that we sent Stephanie will give her instructions to follow up on how we then pursue you. You can get a fine. They know it's a $50 fine, but there's also other things I can do that are going to be written out on that letter that I'm not discussing here today on this video. Okay? But if you go through these situations, you know now what to do. Okay? And ultimately, if it comes to it, If you have to sue these people, you can. If you have to make a complaint about them to whatever state you live in, you can do that as well. There's many options. But as far as dealing with the IRS is concerned, now you know how to deal with it. You got one of two options. Either do the extension, try to wait out the W-2, or say to hell with the W-2. I'm going to take these forms and I'm going to go to work and I'm going to do what I have to do. And then if I'm not right, I'm going to send in the W-2 with the amendment and I'm good. And that's how you would handle it. All right. So from me to you, because I know a lot of times things in this world are made to seem as if they're so complicated when they're actually not. And this is why I stress and reiterate again, the more you know, the better you will live. And in this case with, the IRS, the more you know about how to get the information, where to go, and how to contact them and let them know that you're in this situation, the less trouble you will have if it comes to a situation where you got to say, well, you know what? I told you guys that this person was this employer or whomever was giving me an issue. So as a result of that, now I would like to do this, that, or the other thing. And now you have that option. Whereas all before, if I didn't know how to do this and how to come back home and not be frustrated, leaving that taxpayer assistance center and saying, okay, a bunch of jerks I ran into. But I know that once I call the 800 number that's on the screen here, 800-829, sorry about that, 1040, I may wait an hour, 2 hours on the phone, but when that person picks up, they're going to do their job way more efficiently than any of those people in that center. So that's what I did. And when I spoke to them, I told them what happened. The phone call didn't even last like 15 minutes because all it was answering her questions, tell her what happened. She said, okay, fine. I'll transfer you to this department. It wasn't the right department, but it still worked out. That lady, she took the information. She said, okay, no problem. We'll send out the letter, no, and you'll get one too. Next time you call, know that it's not the tax department you need to contact, but it is the account department, and you're good. End of story. It was that quick because it is not that hard to do what's right. But people sometimes in our society, they get a kick out of bothering people and trying to put all types of stress in someone else's life when it's not even necessary. They could have told me from the beginning when I walked in there, ma'am, it's not a big deal. If you don't have a W-2, you could fill out the 4852. Go on the website. This is, they didn't do any of that. They were not concerned because I was not a person of their persuasion or their culture. So they were not concerned with me, period. And that is really an issue that one day I wish wholeheartedly that America actually deals with, because it's disgusting to be, and I'm gonna be real right now, it's disgusting to be an African American person, an ADOS person, an African descendant of slavery, and I have to deal with people who were not born in this country, did not do any of the work to build this country the way African enslaved people did, and then you have them coming here whenever they show up to this country acting like they're entitled to more things in this country than my people when we built this country. And I know a lot of you people like to believe that nonsense about immigrants building this country. They did not. Slaves built this country, 100 goddamn percent. Okay? Period. So when people do that to me, it annoys me because I feel like, you got a lot of nerve to do that. You really do. When you are actually not entitled to anything like that here. But you come here and you feel like you're supposed to have everything when no. And it's really annoying. And that's where we as a people, we need to start pulling together, being more united, voting the way we need to vote for our best interest, the way all these other people are, so that we could have a piece of this so-called American pie that we are the goddamn bakers of. Because if we were not the people that laid down, died, and had to toil day and night, our blood, bodies, sweat, and every bit of us lay in the sand, dirt, walls, bridges, floors, buildings, and everything of this country. If we didn't do that, no one else would be here to do anything. So how dare they try to treat me like, oh, I'm not trying to help you. Okay, fine. I don't have an appointment, but information is free. And therefore, when I saw they were not trying to help me and it was this whole anti-black woman thing, I'm like, not a problem, because this black woman is not dumb. So I know how to go on the IRS website. I know how to call up, talk, say what happened, get the information I don't have or can't access on the website due to my own limitations, and I will still get it done. And then if I have an issue, I still know how to contact an attorney, deal with the attorney to get what I need done, resolved, and etc., and do it. And if that doesn't work, I still know how to deal with the tax court, deal with that, and let a judge above all of us sit there, look at everything, review the information, and go, I have a decision, or I have an opinion. And then that's it. So I hope this video helped with trying to reduce a lot of the anxiety that tax season brings, and a lot of the issues and stupidity that black women unnecessarily have to deal with in this society where we are hated on more than anyone else. And for those people that see this video who don't happen to be a African American woman, know that primarily my channel speaks to the everyday living of black women. So this is why I made this video. This is not about everybody else. This is about how people do us and the unnecessary problems we encounter and that we have to learn how to navigate through. So this is why I did this video, because when I thought about what these people were doing to me today, I was saying to myself, this is so childish, because that's what it is. I worked somewhere for a while. I did very good at my job, but because I made a personal decision not to participate in the recommendations of the pandemic, I was terminated immediately, the same day. I don't even think most of y'all know that the same day the mayor went on television and decided that those of us that didn't comply with the mandate recommendation, we were terminated that very day. Not the next day, next week, or that very day. Like a lot of us, we didn't even get to finish the rest of the day. We were just escorted out, period. Told to get out, surrender all your stuff, and you're out. Now, that is not a way to treat workers who have, the messed up part about this is, I think about it all the time. I go, they're such hypocrites, because we were there working day and night when everybody else was shut down in their houses and couldn't go out in the streets. Those of us that work for the city and the state, we were at work. No masks, no prevention, none of that universal protection. We didn't have none of that. We were up close, impersonal, in people's faces like this, doing our jobs. And we was good then. We was heroes and all this other stuff. And then as soon as that part was over, and we're like, but we the same people. It was like, oh, well, it's not good enough. You're fired. Bullshit. I call bullshit. So that's just part of what goes on with us and everybody else, because, it is what it is. But this video was made to speak to the frustrations that we endure too many times all day throughout our lives. And if I could help a few sisters not be stressed out, lose their mind, and figure out how to do things now and in the future, good for me and good for you. And so that's why it is I do what I do here. And I'll be coming with the food video next, because now that so many of us have lost the extra supplemental benefits that were given because of the pandemic, we're going through more of a struggle to survive. So I'll be back with ways to get food, talk about nutrition and things like that. And hopefully I'll try to find throughout the USA.gov website some ways to get a little extra money if it's possible. I will look into all of that before I come back. All right, so guys, I'm going to go now. When I finish putting all these links onto this video, it's going to go directly to YouTube. And I think now I'm also streaming on Twitter. But I'm going to put the links and stuff on YouTube. So you guys who may be listening on Twitter, If you want all these extra links and stuff, you're going to have to come to the YouTube page. I'm not able to do that on Twitter. I'm sorry, I'm not. So if you're not familiar, the channel here is Simply Stephanie, the number 2 channel. Come on over and you come get those links and check it out and do what you have to do. Okay? Thank you for participating, everybody that was here for the first time on Twitter, because today was my very first time streaming to Twitter simultaneously while I was doing the YouTube video. So hello to everyone there. I know it's late, but um I'll go check it out later and see what comments you guys left and etc. But I hope this helped, and I want y'all to know where I'm coming from, because I know in today's world, whenever a black woman is pro-black woman about other women, people get upset, and you shouldn't, because I have a right to care about the people that are like me the same way you got a right to do what you do, right? We all live in a world where we could all be ethnocentric as much as we want. And I happen to love my blackness and all the blackness of other black women. So if I have information that I feel is helpful to them, because I know in this world we get trashed on the most, I try to reduce that as much as I can, you know? Also, the very last thing I'm going to say before I close out this video is black women. We are starting to talk together as a group of black female content creators on YouTube and other platforms about a class action lawsuit in regards to the hate speech that is directed at us and only us on these platforms. So look out for that in many of the black women content creators comments on their pages and etc. And once we get this thing a little bit more together, we will be speaking about this way more deeply and beginning to take some action, because it needs to stop. We all know that YouTube is protected by the big tech law 230, but listen, it's a form of discrimination, and it is bullying and harassment the way that black women are disrespected and talked about on YouTube, especially, and Twitter, by calling us all types of dehumanizing names, berating us and belittling us. Is disgusting. It needs to stop. It should not be allowed for us and taboo for everybody else. So we have to speak up. So if you're interested in pursuing this, on all the black women's channels who have this information somewhere on their page, let them know you're interested so that we can get the ball rolling. Thank you. Thank you, all the people on Twitter that came for the first time tonight. I'll be back again. To all my regulars on YouTube, good night. And I'll be back with the food and nutrition video. Good night, y'all. And more, because I got more. And I'm going to try to go on StreamYard and upload everything that was left over from the last channel. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye. Be well.